Ain't no love in hip hop, you not Tammy, I'm not Wop. We ain't letting shit slide, spot him blocker, then he drop. And of course I'm fucking raw, so why you ask me for a condom? Ain't no nigga with me starving, if I got it, then he got it. Put my bread up with the profit, bitch, you knowing that I'm solid. Street credit on 1,000, from the top to the bottom on my side. Bitches jealous cause I won't leave my baby mama. I talked to Drake on the phone, he couldn't sign me. Said I'm too damn fat and I'm too damn childish. So from that day on, every track I'm a slaughter. And I swear I heard my pride cause that's one of my favorite artists. I swear to God I put nobody else above you. Fuck all your friends behind your back, I'm off them drugs, boo. Tell you that I see you in the morning, how I thug you. Ain't I ignore that fish smell because I love you. If that boy really a threat, then we gon' hit him now. I ain't talking about no fucking conversation when I sit him down. Cut my mans off, he put out money when them bitches round. This not Friday, I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna put my blicky down. I'm a man without it, Roseline nigga. Mama had his out in public house. Don't call my phone about no beef, bitch, this ain't McDonald's. My mama still live out in apartments, I got bigger problems. I swear to God, I put nobody else above you. Fuck all your friends behind you, come off them drugs, boo. Tell you that I see you in the morning, how I thug you. Ain't I ignored that fish smell because I love you. I'm the new big papa, don't need Diddy to vouch. Bubba told me one thing, don't buy shit in the drought. Fuck a nigga, baby mama, leave my kids on the couch. Before I fuck Black China, stick my dick in the couch. Kidnap your favorite bitch and throw her baby off the ledge. You won't hear the last nigga that tried to play me cause he dead. And all my fans...
Jordy just gave ultimate eyebrow. Did I just hear something about a couch and
You know what's funny about lyrics like that, especially someone like him? What's his name? BFB, the Pac-Man. He's literally just saying the craziest thing.
It's silly.
It's Eminem-ish, and he's very funny. And he said a lot of crazy stuff, but then there's always this one thing that everyone's like, "Whoa, you can't say that." It's like you just said a million crazy things.
I would look.
That is
I'm
a
not trying.
long
I think it was just
conversation
very
right now.
silly. Very silly thing.
That is exactly the same thing.
Cam, we would have had 59 minutes. Well, we got 56 minutes.
57.
We can have it. We can
do
have
that.
it. I'm looking at my.
But that's
my,
the same
my,
excuse that. That is the same excuse that Dave Portnoy said about his situation. That same argument you just made.
What is the
I
argument?
said a bunch of crazy shit.
That's not.
Why are you?
Okay.
Just saying that people who do edgy shit claim that same thing. I'm not saying I'm on that side or not, but of course you're up to ridicule when you go crazy.
Oh. Right.
I turned this into something else.
You
Yes,
definitely did.
You fully did, and it.
Well, we're going there.
Who's writing
Today's
this
episode we're
Alex.
dedicating to
Eric.
what's okay in comedy and what's not okay in comedy. We're gonna give you some do's and don'ts, things to go toward and things to run away from. Oh no, I was just doing a sweet bit.
That was the conversation we were having. Whose career is better, J.K. Rowling or Stephen King? Is it Rowling's or Rowling?
Rawlings is like the baseball mitt.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I fuck with those mitts. I fuck with those mitts heavy.
Um,
But Rowling or Rowlings? J.K.
J.K. rolling all the way to the bank is what they call her on set.
Rolling up a blunt.
Rolling up.
I've seen her out there.
I did. What's Tom Clancy? Who are you talking about?
He's not in Stephen King.
Stephen King
there.
did. Tom Clancy and Stephen King are the same guy, right?
Yeah, Clancy's got a lot of number ones.
Older white guys that are into fucking shooting revolvers and
I feel
looking
like they have
sexy
different
at it.
genres. No, I'm pretty sure that
Shooting
they're
revolvers.
different. What do you, I
Except
think
Yeah, it's always
Stephen
like
King's alive.
some
Tom Clancy is like a
military weapon.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Stephen King writes about.
Oh yeah,
About
Stephen
killer
King
dogs.
did Rainbow Six, right?
Yep.
Cam just ruins whatever discussion I try to spark.
I honestly can't even. Who is
You
what is
can't
it?
you can't handle the
It.
conversation.
It
Okay.
is Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King has like 18 movies. J.K. Rowling has one humongous movie. I don't think StephenKing has anything as
But
big as
she's
that.
also. Oh yeah, right. They're both.
But not one
writers.
humongous movie, one humongous series.
Yeah, it's a series. I don't know if
Has she dropped?
has,
Has
like,
she ever dropped
expanded.
anything outside
she has
of?
like sub. I don't know, but she has like other books that are like in the world. I think
She has
I've never
subs.
read any of them.
They said that she had 12 or 15s in her Buick growing up.
Jordy, you say J.K. Rowling's a bigger writer
I-
than Stephen King.
I don't know what
I
you mean by
mean,
that.
that's tough.
I think it's really
That's
tough.
what I'm asking.
I know.
Jeez.
All right, let's look at the IMDb. Let's have an IMDb.
Stephen King has way more movies.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
way
If you're
more
talking
books.
about volume, if you're talking about
No,
quantity.
you know,
Yeah,
know that's not what
but,
I'm talking about.
like, it's a huge franchise. I
Take
don't know.
his volume versus her huge franchise.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well,
Made a lot.
this is great. This is a great combo. Way to
Yeah,
everybody.
well,
way to,
you know, no, the first
This is
step
what
to
you
making a
get.
franchise
This is what
a
you
pitch.
get when you talk
So,
about old ass writers that only you know about.
Okay.
Talk about R.L.
Um,
Stein, something a little bit more in my daddy's wheelhouse.
Deep
let's
cuts.
talk about NBA YoungBoy.
So,
He's writing the book.
well, Cam, why don't you walk us through the rules?
So we got Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, and NBA YoungBoy, all American novelists.
Who's
Oh, wait,
more
wait,
popping
wait,
right
wait,
now?
wait.
Who's more popping right now, though? You gotta
True.
give it
I would
to
say YoungBoy.
Okay.
Young
well,
boy.
I just want to say that we're back on YouTube. And
Oh shit!
that's cool.
Give
Young
what's
boy
up,
is the king of
YouTubers.
YouTube.
If you call in, you have to drop your links in the adultswim.com chat. We will not be clicking on YouTube chat links. If you have a video, it can only be a YouTube video. And please sign a release form so you can get paid if you win. Also, focus on the whereby stream rather than the...
Just focus. That's all
Just
I want.
focus.
Like whatever you're on, just focus.
So
Jordy,
those are the rules.
Do you think, like, for Halloween, a costume
This Halloween?
this coming Halloween, because it's in what, like 3-4 months?
I know. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
But you could dress up as J.K. Rowling
yeah.
with like a werewolf motif and a writer.
Oof.
Ugh, don't do that,
Why?
Jordy.
I
That's
thought
the
it was
type
gonna
of
be like a tiger or something.
that was the type. Yeah,
I don't
I'm
think
saying,
like a werewolf.
that's Jordy's wheelhouse. I know Jordy's
What?
wheelhouse.
No, I just think it's silly.
That's so fire. Somebody just said sending love from Burbank. I love that. Hey, shout out to Burbank sending mad love.
Man, we miss Burbank.
Okay.
Burbank.
Let's get a caller on here.
I did go pick up some Ikes last weekend.
You
First
went
time.
to the office. to
Eric,
get
no.
your candy.
Eric,
No.
Eric,
Yeah.
I'm telling you this as a friend.
Yeah.
You eat too much bread. You eat
I actually
too
I
much
don't.
damn bread. You were eating Ikes every day.
No,
he
once a
wasn't.
week.
He
Once
ate
a
it
week.
once a week.
Once a
Yeah.
week.
Once a
Have
week is too much
conversation.
bread.
Oh my gosh.
If
Oh,
you-
that.
Are you on the
Eric,
Atkins
caller.
diet?
Eric,
What is
bring
this?
it-
1997?
Here?
Bring the caller in.
All right, it's
God,
gonna
Walter
come.
gets one haircut and now he's got all this fucking confidence just
Oh,
going through
no.
the roof.
I just did
Oh,
the
fuck,
thing.
Eric.
All right, pick out.
Oh no.
Who do you want?
People in the comments. No.
This guy's got a sign.
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, my man.
All right. This guy's promoting drugs.
How's it going, everybody?
How's it going? Eric, can you hear
Sorry.
us?
Yeah, I'm shutting it down slowly. God damn it. This guy had the sign up. He got in.
Okay.
Wow.
That was stressful.
Great start.
Yep.
See,
problem.
what happened was if you don't have the whereby stream correctly in line with the adult stream, then you can't have the videos transfer over. Do you get it?
Yeah.
What
I watch-
don't you get?
I watch
Okay.
teenagers on YouTube get this shit off. Have their friends. Blah 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 blah.
Okay, Asho, do you have a pitch for us?
It's edited, Walter.
Yeah, sorry, I do. I'll just drop the link in the chat now. Just to a Google
Look at that.
document. So that should be the pitch right there.
Appreciate you
Ready to
playing by
go.
the rules here. Yeah. Thank you.
All good. I've been studying up, watching the videos, trying to make it
Let's
easier for you guys.
go.
Thank you.
Hold on. So my pitch basically, I don't know if you saw the sign, but like drugs equal magic. Essentially, so yeah, this is the pitch here. So the title is X, just something simple, kind of catching. It's a 20-minute animated serial. The logline being a trippy drug-fueled fantasy adventure following a group of individuals as they try to engage with the world around them. So essentially, coming into this, I was very much like, I came from, I was watching a lot of Hunter anime, and I really like that kind of establishing that hard magic system and then kind of playing with that and playing with the limits of that and the characters and how that kind of, interacts like that. So I was very much picturing it as like that kind of classic shonen anime setup where you kind of have like the serial episodes and you kind of developing characters on the world each time. But
Show, let's
obviously
ask you
important-
let's ask the show what he thinks. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name. How do you pronounce your name?
It's actually Andrew. I just again made the name easier. That was my adult stream one.
Okay, all right, Andrew. Are you more of a J.K. Rowling head or a Stephen King head? Being that
never a big fan of the Harry Potter. Stephen King, you got to admire Stephen King. The man can make a lot of money, any writer that can make that dosh.
All right, he's here for the coin. All right, proceed. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, so basically, kind of the elevator pitch kind of thing is like a shonen anime for stoners that watch shonen anime, basically. So it's you kind of got this world where you can see in the world there. Essentially, a psychedelic compound is discovered that manifests the user's hallucinations into reality. And obviously, the whole world goes crazy about this. The government, the international community, is trying to shut that shit down. But obviously, the actual fucking magic, that's incredible. A lot of people try to tack onto it, kind of thing, and try to utilize it for their own means. So essentially, you've got this starting point, the psychedelic compound discovered in Haiti, and then from there, you've got monsters spawning into the world based on people's hallucinations and imaginations, because they take this drug and then imagine a monster and it goes out into the world and hunts it. As well as just being able to sorry, I'm kind of nervous about it, but the kind of the general kind of magic system kind of thing is that you, by conditioning yourself to have certain hallucinations, you can bring about certain magical outcomes, basically. And so then we can go to our characters after that. The characters are quite simple. You've got, sorry, do you want me to slow down? Is there anything else? Or?
No.
Let's get into it.
Can you turn your volume up at all? You're really low.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, way better.
Better holding that. Cool. Sweet. So our characters, I've also got a couple episodes as well written out, so if you want to check them out. But so our main character is Greg Finn. Basically, he's super obscure. Greg.
I like all the people requesting access to your document. Let them in. I feel like if you want to continue, because I'm gonna tell you this. The drug thing. If you've been watching, you haven't been watching long. The drug thing is a tough go for us. The whole fantasy, you took drugs, fantasy thing. We really try to avoid that. It feels a little cliche to us. So, one, I would let all these people in, let them in, and let's see what they do to the document. But two, tell us more that's not kind of related to, hey, who's the most interesting character in this thing?
Cool. All right. So our main character is Greg Finn. He's really just kind of, I tried to nail down a very relatable kind of inner yearning that a lot of people have, which is essentially that he loves the whole idea of existence. He's like, man, the world is awesome. This is great. But the reality of having to struggle to enjoy that, the day-to-day kind of struggle of being not rich, basically, is he struggles to align those two. There's the cognitive dissonance in there, the love for the world, but the hate for having to exist in it. And then you kind of got almost a foil to that is New Saber, the kind of second main character, who is very much a headstrong activist artist kind of thing, who wants to use this magic in order to create art and change the world in certain ways. And also there's Moses Mo, the third character, who doesn't come in till later on in the story. But just quickly going back to the whole drug thing, I was kind of conscious about, I didn't want to make it kind of the gimmicks is the drugs and it's all cool, blah, blah, blah. It's very much just a setup for this is what the this is the rules of the universe, and then how do people play with that. So in the same way that again, to take it back to Hunter x Hunter, they kind of establish this system, but then it's not all about they do take the time to learn the system and then kind of experiment with it, but it's not about just that system. It's about how these people are interacting with these new powers in play in the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just kind of want to jump in here because I think that we're getting a lot of world building at this point, and I think for us, when we're asking what's the most interesting thing about your character, or why are we following these characters, it's it's feeling like this is world driven more than character driven at the moment. And I think that you should be able to just describe your world as a one sentence thing, these are the rules, and then we want to know why these characters, why are we following them, what do they want, all this stuff. And I think that that's what I'm missing in this and how you're approaching your concept. It feels really lore heavy, without really spending as much time with the characters.
Look, we're gonna do the. First of all, you're number one on the board, but what we are saying is this one's probably not a perfect fit for us. So we're gonna put you on the board. It looks like it's well thought out, but there's certain things that it's doing that we actually just try to avoid, and so it's tough.
Cool. Is it all right if I just ask a couple things as well?
You can talk to Cam.
Yeah, you can talk to me, Andrew. What's up?
Happy days. So I was just wondering, like, in terms of, like, so obviously with the characters and stuff, if you look into the episodes, it is a lot more character focused, then there are character arcs and stuff that's organic.
Yeah.
But, beside that, where would, in terms of like pitching this kind of thing, I want to make this into something. What would, in your opinions, I'm not part of the industry kind of thing, what would be the next step after getting feedback from you guys doing that?
I would say, and kind of going back to Walter's point, and actually on a call today that we had, that kind of works parallel with your ideas, like what we're seeing off the bat is that you're kind of using the drug infused sort of trippy element as like almost as a crutch. Like try to imagine it that you take drug and psychedelia out of it, now build your world. What are the things that make your world interesting? Because, you know, you don't want to fall into sort of like, the worry is you fall into like sort of like one noteness, right? With that. It feels a little easy. I can tell that you got it. Your brain's working. So I would just say work on making your world so original, because if you do that, and the art will speak to the drug and psychedelia thing at the end of the day. Like that'll be implied. So I would say build a deck that's fully original that we've never seen before. And look, I know we're cutting you a little short. We'll check out the episodes. But like off the bat, you know, it feels a little like you're hanging your hat on more of this sort of, you know, trippy element rather than like getting into the sort of nitty gritty. But that's to be seen. We'll check out the stuff. We appreciate you calling, Andrew.
Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Cheers.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I got this mask in the mail because I keep ordering masks.
In the mail.
I got this mask in the mail.
Okay, Jim Carrey.
Smoking. But I had drank a cold brew or some of a cold brew because I could.
I know. I could tell as soon as you got on, you were fucking.
Yeah, because I finished. No, I finished it at like 3 o'clock. But yeah, it sends me. But I put this on after that, and it's really tough. Like to smell cold brew in your mask. I was like, yo, I don't like this at all.
Damn. And on top of the already just,
my breath is already just heinous. Yeah,
that must suck.
Let's get another call.
Let's take another call.
Their dental routine is.
Ask them.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Ask Yoni.
Yes.
Hey, Yoni.
Yep.
Hey.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're good.
What kind of headphones are those?
They're for my PS4, but I have.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I got like the white ones. I was like, I've seen those before.
They glow in the dark, all type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, why don't we have glow in the dark headsets?
I'm so nervous, but I'm so glad to meet you.
Do you have
just take a deep breath, because you're just talking to 3 regular ass people.
Yes.
Do you have do you got HBO Max on that PS4?
I have the HBO Now.
Oh, that's done. You gotta get Max.
It's gonna just like roll you over.
Okay, so I have to update it.
Especially if it's a free upgrade. It's the same price. Yeah. Not free.
And then you gotta hit that. You gotta hit that Adult Swim button and go watch a little show called Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
All right.
There you go. Well, that was our tag.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a pitch for us?
I do. My pitch, I've already started writing and stuff.
Let me see. Put it up closer so we can.
Thank you for the proof.
Yeah.
My pitch. Okay, my pitch.
Yes.
My pitch. Yeah, I got
and meet the Mysticals.
Okay. Awesome.
So basically, it's an animated cartoon show, and I call it the Mysticals. The log line is a struggling thug goes through life situation daily and teaches him lessons throughout the show. Dealing with his close friends sends him on adventures throughout each day.
Like what?
Yeah.
Just the basic things that happen in the hood, you know?
Not basic. We don't want, but we've seen the basic things. We already have Friday.
Well,
we
not
already have
basic,
Friday,
but like like every scene, every episode, someone is going to learn a lesson from that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Can you walk us through like an
Yes. Yes. I actually did an episode. If you guys want me to read that.
I
don't want you to read the whole episode.
Yeah.
Maybe describe some of it.
Summarize it.
Okay. Basically, one of the character name is Fool-Aid, like Kool-Aid. I call him Fool-Aid, and he's the main character. He's a country Southern boy with swag, 25 years old, and think he has seen it all. With his country accent, he keeps the crowd guessing with more of his mischievous ways.
All right. Here's the thing I'll say, and I'm curious where you'll go because it's not, have you written out an outline or an episode, or I don't know what you have.
Yes, I
an
have.
Outline. Okay, the whole episode or an outline?
I have one episode. It's called The Plan.
Okay. This is and this is particularly for Adult Swim, so you have to think.
Okay.
When we think, because I like where you're going, but I feel like when you tell me like, oh, it's like the typical, I've watched so many like hood movies, hood whatever. And so you have to give me something that's not going to be typical. You can start going down the typical path because I'll be interested, but then you got to flip it. And that's what we're asking. Like, hey, do you flip it somewhere where it's not just like I said?
It's not.
So tell me where it flips.
Yeah, it's not basic. Like each show is gonna flip. Like it's gonna make you run to it by each episode. So it'll end one, and then people are gonna be like, "Darn, I want to see that next episode to kind of keep it going." You know.
But what I'm saying, like have you ever seen Friday? And I keep bringing Friday up because I love.
How about Belly? Use Belly.
I like the second one.
It doesn't work.
I like the second one.
I mean, the first one is clearly. I mean,
it's classical. Yeah.
Are we gonna say the second one's better than the first one? Are we gonna do that right now?
No.
I was gonna say I don't want to do that.
No.
But they tell a very typical like hood day from and they find the funny moments within that, like the small funny moments. So that's what I'm looking for. Like, do you have a particular angle that's unique? Like what Friday did was find these small funny moments. Normally at that point it has just been these big broad strokes. Like you're in the hood, there's gangsters, people do drive. Friday found the small funny moments in it. And I think if you're gonna go that route, which I would like to see, you got to find your own moments that people haven't touched on. And so
I want it to be funny, but I don't want it to be too much of I want everyone to learn a lesson through each episode.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? So it's going to explain something, and it's going to make you think, well, darn, I just realized from his point of view I might have went through the same thing. You got to give it, because we haven't. The main character, what is the point of view that you would say, or what is a moment that you can tell us out of the first episode? Okay, the first episode, Petty, which is one of the character, is persuading Fool-Aid to come with him on a lick, on just a regular, lick. You know what that means, And
but what's a regular lick? You about to go just rob someone on the corner? Like what's a regular lick?
It's basically
I'm a corporate person.
Yes. It's basically a strange unknown character who drops off a bag of marijuana. So he opens up the bag, right? And it smells like dog shit.
Oh, that's like what can be smoking.
So
I've known to smoke stress and shake.
Yeah, he smoked shake.
Yeah.
He brought some weed over called dog shit.
I am a natural stoner. I chose not to. I chose to do this first.
Oh.
But okay, so he opens up the bag, and evidently it smells like dog poop. So he goes, this is supposed to be cat piss because it's a strand called cat piss. And he says, well, at least we have dog shit instead of cat piss.
All right.
Okay.
We get you. We're putting you on the board.
Okay.
I don't know if you're 1 or 2, but you're one of those right now.
Oh, awesome.
And thank you for calling in.
Oh, thank you. Have a blessed one.
You too.
Thank you, Yoni.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
I mean, that laughter, the energy, contagious.
Yes.
Ultraviolet
A
shine
tone
blinds.
that might-
Ooh,
I was about to do-
with the bars.
I was about to do
Did I
a
interrupt your
backpack.
bars?
I
Yeah.
like that.
And then 2 for 2 in the drugs today.
I know. What's going on with the drugs? It's
Well, let me
the
tell
quarantine.
you. Here's
the
why.
quarantine.
No.
Adult
Back on
Swim is
YouTube.
like trippy, bro. Like you guys get it, right? Like me and my homies, I swear to God, we can have a show because we're fucking funny and we blaze. And
We
you
blaze
guys do
and
the
watch
same
their
shit.
shows. Yeah, they get high and watch our shows and think we're high, but we're not high. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah, I go to work
We're not.
sober, surprisingly.
Very sober.
Although young in my career, I used to get this thing where people always said, you know, he's always stoned. I like never smoked weed.
Because you have
but that
a
was
stoner
right.
vibe.
Because of my sweet mull?
That's not
Because
a
of my
mole. You look like a
Dodgers
mole.
hat? What does this tell you? Like I like sports or I like to blaze nuggets?
Well, you look different than when I first met you.
He did.
Yeah, he had a whole different stat. Like
used
he had
to wear-
overalls.
I used
yeah,
to-
when Cam first I met, he had overalls on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no shoes.
He
I used
dressed
to
One
like
not wear
strap,
Chucky.
shoes.
one strap overalls with Jordans.
Also, like I used to have a bubbler necklace, so maybe that was a giveaway.
I thought it was the puka shells.
Let's see what the
I
next
used to-
caller.
Jordy doesn't want us to have fun.
I'm just trying. Like, I really like getting to the third person vibe.
Hey
at this
Marcel,
point.
Well, you look
Marcel, you're on.
when I first met
Marcel,
Marcel.
you. You gotta turn your computer.
He had a whole different stat. Like he had overall.
Cut him off and like
he's studying.
I met him overall.
Yeah, he's not watching.
Marcel, you are on
Marcel.
live right now. You have to cut the volume to the stream you're watching because we're getting feedback.
Oh, okay. The problem is I try to use the
Just close the whole
Turn
window.
off adultswim.com. Just look at your feed. Mute
Yeah,
your
is that
live
better?
feed.
Marcel, you're on.
No, we
No.
can hear ourselves.
Marcel.
You got
Uh-oh.
5
Turn it
seconds.
off.
Okay, let me try something real quick. I have a headset here.
It's not a try something real
Wait,
quick.
yeah.
Cut it off. Like this is ridiculous.
Eric, next
We can
person.
hear us already yelling at you. It's
Eric,
yeah. All right.
We just
all
You
right.
got
Eric,
Jordy
next
worked
All
up.
right. All right.
I just get
Jordy's not
upset.
having it.
I'm upset.
Yeah, because you
I'm
do give the
upset.
rules.
Who are you, Drake now? Jordy said, I'm upset. 30,000 on my head.
Raymond.
Uh,
In the build.
Gus.
What's
Raymond
cracking,
Leon.
Raymond?
That ain't your last name. Your last name ain't Leon.
No, it is. And in Spanish, my name El Rey Leon is the Lion King.
All right. Come on.
Pretty
Shit.
great.
All right.
Arr, arr, arr. Eating him up today. Let's go, King.
People say that in Spanish, my name is this. Like,
All
I
right.
know in Spanish, I know how to say lion is Leon.
Damn, you're
Come on.
so traveled.
And,
It's
and what's
crazy.
king? And how you say king in Spanish?
El Rey.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Damn. Walter's so global. It's crazy.
Hey,
it's a great time.
salute, king. Hey, salute, king.
Salute
All
salute
right.
to another king.
No.
I've been trying to get on the show for a few weeks now. So I just dropped my drive link into the chat. My pitch is Millennial AF. It's a working title, mainly because of the show Black AF. They came out with the same title.
Shout out to
So-
Kenya Bears.
Yeah, it's a great show. It really is. So I have no problem changing the actual name. But basically, it's the story of Axe, short for accident. He's a glitch living in the big city. Axe and his friends are members of the most disregarded generation in recent history, the millennials. So while the baby boomer generation prepares to retire in comfort, Axe and his friends have to learn to adapt to the trivial problems of today while trying to find the meaning and stay afloat in the big city.
So are they computer programs?
Yeah, so basically they're a race of beings that kind of just created them, or they kind of just happened. And so they happened in about the 80s, which basically is when computers started coming around into consciousness. And so they're now so old that they also have multiple generations. And so, you know, typical to the story of, we'll say like average Americans, there's a first generation, then there's like a second generation. So now they're the millennial generation. And they focus on a lot of very insignificant problems. Like one of the actual first lines in the entire series is Axe talks to his friend and says, "Does this smell like almond milk to you?" Which is not a very big problem, but if you paid extra for almond milk, you'd be a little mad about it, you know?
I relate to that because I'm an oat milk guy.
This is Cam's will.
I'm very much an oat milk guy. The minute that I smell almond, I'm fucking throwing it 50 yards down the street.
Cam problems.
Yeah, and so he takes the almond milk latte back to the register, and the actual cashier who's getting paid nothing and is in a neighborhood that's already being gentrified, pretty much tells him to go F himself. And so, you know, she yells at him and tells him, hey, you know what? Like, this is ridiculous. I did put this almond milk in it. And so she remakes it in front of him, and he tips her out of guilt. And so basically, the progression of the series basically goes down to him focusing on trivial problems, which then kind of forces him to introspectively look into what the bigger issues are in life. And so he starts to get into charity. He starts to try to find love. He starts to focus more on his friendships, and instead of living on social media and things like that. So it's a pretty typical millennial type vibe going on to the whole thing. But the actual beings themselves are glitches.
Let the typical millennials handle it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of our concern when you say that these characters act like typical familiar millennials. Like, what makes them special? What makes this show, you know, different from a handful of shows that focus on millennials? It seems like you have this new race of, you know, computer code or whatever, but how do they act differently than just if they were just people? Like, what's, I guess, is what distinguishes this show is our big question.
I see. So yeah, basically it's just an introspective sitcom to where, you know, they're just trying to focus on getting away from trivial issues and going more into like kind of bigger picture type stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I think like you have the template of something here. You just need to really get into the nitty gritty with these individual characters. Like, I think, you know, Jordy's right. If you just like take Seinfeld, we can
shout out Jerry.
I was gonna say let's do Friday. You could do literally any property, because usually it's the first time you see how special this character is. All right, so that's the goal. Like Jerry, there's a million things to Jerry that makes him work. So when you use the word typical, I don't think you would still describe Jerry Seinfeld as like typical. So I would get into your characters and sort of explore like what things that you want to really tell in each of their characteristics that like you feel that is either like something that you are inspired by out in the world or something that like means to you. But yeah, I think we would need more on these individuals because like a millennial show, I think every single person would love to do a millennial show. It's just like, you know, do you have the Euphoria angle? Like, what is the angle, right?
Euphoria would be Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Sorry. See, I don't even know what a millennial is anymore.
Which honestly makes it more interesting because we haven't lived through people attempting a bunch of Gen Z shows yet.
Yeah, I think the angle here would be menial at best. And so like focusing on a lot of very, very insignificant problems. But thank you. I do appreciate you guys' feedback. This is an amazing
thank you
show.
For calling in. Thank you for calling in, man.
All right, King.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys.
I mean, we just have like the most likable callers today.
It's been a lot of nice people calling in.
Just like sweet people.
I have a question for you because I sent it to our Slack, the Clone High reboot? I was wondering if did I send it to you?
MTV's rebooting everything.
Yeah, MTV.
They're rebooting everything.
Yeah, you've turned into Kurt Loder with all the MTV news I keep getting from you.
Wasn't that a pretty short-lived show to begin with? It was just like Lord Miller.
It only did one season. I remember it.
It was not a hit. Yeah.
I saw some of it when it came on, but Lord and Miller obviously blew up to be huge writers. Lego Movie. I mean, Lego Movies after that. What else? They did something bigger, like something huge before that. What did
they did the 21 Jump Street movies. They did Lego.
But they did something else. They did something else that was big.
They
but anyway, shout out
a lot of stuff. Produced Last Man on Earth, one of my favorites.
They're some of the bigger writers, particularly in comedy in Hollywood. But what are you saying, Jordy?
Well, I was just curious if you guys watched it when it aired, and I think I have.
Not the whole thing.
I don't know how many episodes I've seen, but
so that premise gets pitched to us to this day, which is because the premise of Clone High, from what I remember, is like, oh, like Gandhi's one of the students, and like these famous historical figures. So they're gonna flip it, and we'll see.
I'm curious how they're gonna flip it. Like, I'm curious because it felt like, from what I remember, it was like kind of typical like teens in high school kind of thing.
The thing that it has is Lord and Miller obviously are G's now, and who shepherded them in it was another big writer who actually was like the big dog on their show, because at the time they did that, they were probably like early 20s or something.
Right.
Who was it? Not Mike Shore. There's another dude who created Bill Lawrence, who created Scrubs. He's created like 3 or 4 shows at this point. So he was their big dog on that show. So now they're all getting back together. We'll see what they do. Shout out MTV. I mean, they're bringing back Beavis and Butthead. Shout out Mike Judd. They're bringing back. I mean, they're spinning off Daria. We'll see. I don't know. It's a lot of reboots. I'm
curious.
We're not the reboot place. So I'm watching to see how they do.
Well,
I hope
else
they
do
get
have
like
right now. I mean, they got to trust something.
all the shit.
Go back to the well.
All the shit with the Jersey Shore shit does very well.
Yeah.
Eric. So I don't know. And the Robles channel still does well. The tough part with stuff like that is it doesn't replay well, but it premieres very well.
Right.
They still
animated shows might replay better.
They're leaning heavy into it.
You want
They're leading.
No, you don't.
They're
care?
leaning heavy into animation. They're leaning heavy into animation, like every other place in the COVID and prior to the COVID.
It's cold brew.
We just crashed.
Going.
Just so you know.
No, Eric just.
Yep, I crashed.
We're not on anymore.
Hang on a second. No, I'll get us back in a second.
Damn.
Oh, fun times. I warned everyone ahead of time.
It's actually better that we were talking and not.
Yeah, like the audio stays put, but my screen is completely locked. So let me throw up.
They can hear us.
I can still see us
hear you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they can hear us right now?
They can hear it. Yeah, everyone can hear it, but we can't see anything. Like, I'm going to get it going.
All right. Well, I'll say this. Even looking at the MTV stuff and looking at what's going on this week, like with everybody changing voice actors, like with Big Mouth, and who else was it?
Central Park is...
Central Park. Then something happened with one of Seth MacFarlane shows with Cleveland.
Show, which is still...
And all these people do dope stuff. But we're still like Adult Swim, and we feel like we're the premier adult animation place. And this is why I want to say, like, they're switching that. We want everybody on our shows from here forward to do a 23andMe before we cast. So this is I'm saying this here. People are hearing this, and maybe it can get picked up. But we're requiring everyone doing voice work for us to do 23andMe and submit it.
So then if you have like 100% white character, then you need, and let's say you have like halves, you need to have 100% genetic white.
Stop. I don't like the percentages.
Yeah, no, I don't know about these percentages, Cam. I just want the 23andMe or we will accept Ancestry.com to be submitted to us so we can evaluate properly, because I don't want to go in with not all the information.
Okay, well, I know that like my homies always tell me that I'm about 50% Italian, and then my other homie, will that work?
I gotta see the paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not playing these games no more. I want paperwork on everybody.
But I do shop so much that I could speak Italian. That's got to count for something.
Oh, paperwork. You don't hear me?
You know what I watched last weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, you watched Search Party season 3.
No, I did also watch that, but I finally watched Goodfellas.
Damn, you ain't never seen Goodfellas? That's an amazing
movie.
Movie.
It took a long time.
Did you like it?
I did. It was good.
Sure. It was good. Fellas, I'm gonna tell you.
Good. It was Goodfellas.
It was good. It wasn't great because that's considered one of the best.
I know, and I don't know why. I was watching it and I was like fully paying attention, not looking at my phone, because I was like, I'm gonna give this the time of day. Yeah. And I was watching it and I was like, it's good. I think I might be just like tired.
What's your
of
favorite
mafia
gangster movie?
Exactly. I'm trying to think of what my favorite gangster. Maybe I don't really love the genre.
You might not love the genre that much.
That's what I think that might be.
Have you ever seen The Godfather?
I have, and I love Godfather Part 2 is probably my favorite like gangster movie.
Okay. You ever seen Road to Petition?
Yes, I did. With Tom Hanks.
Petition. That sounds like that's like my way on my way to vote.org.
It's perdition, right? with
Yeah.
Tom Hanks and his son. That
And then
was
what's-
good.
You ever
But
seen
that's
Miller's
like-
Crossing?
No, I haven't seen
You gotta see Cam, have you seen Miller's Crossing?
No, I saw that We Are the
Miller's
Millers.
Crossing is amazing.
We Are the Millers.
Get it.
That's also
Coen
a gangster
Brothers.
movie
Who's
because
who's in who's in
see,
Miller's
listen,
Crossing?
Jason Sudeikis plays
Don't
like
come
a
with that. Shout out to
pot
Sudeikis.
dealer, and then he meets Emma Roberts, who is also like a troubled teen. And they
Wait a second. Was
link
Jason
up.
Sudeikis the trouble team?
Yeah, but well, no, he was a
He sounds like he
slacker.
was much older than that. They don't have like a relationship in the movie, do they?
No, see well they do because of pot. I think that brings them together, and
I like
then
it.
what happens is they meet Jennifer Aniston, who's also sort of like got her own hard edge to her, and they link up, they build, and they create a family to smuggle drugs. It's hilarious, and I would probably rate it about a 7.5 out of 10.
Eric,
I'm
we're
gonna
on
watch-
YouTube.
Yeah,
Are we
you're
on
still live. You're still live.
Okay.
I'm getting my
We
main
just-
computer
we
set
can't-
back
we
up, so
can't
you're
do
spanning
Oh, we
time
can't
right
bring
now.
people in.
We can't bring
I
people
got you.
in.
Yeah.
So I'll
Cam,
watch
you should
Miller's
see Miller's
Crossing.
Crossing. Miller's
Yeah, I'm gonna
Crossing, I
watch it
love.
this
It's one of
weekend.
my favorite. It's by what's it called? It's
Coen
by
Brothers.
those brothers, the Coen brothers. It's amazing.
Brothers.
Amazing.
Oh shit!
Those brothers.
Jordy, I'm gonna know everybody's name. Off
No, I
just
know.
rapidly.
I'm on Wikipedia right
Rapidly,
now.
You
tragically,
said like Coen brothers? Like how are you not gonna remember them?
immaculately.
I just like when you said the
I know the McCullough brothers from Pasadena. Shout out them.
I love that you've just smelled the ass of a cold brew and you are just teeth going, chattering like you're fucking Escobar. I love the energy today. Keep the same energy. That's all I ask. Okay, when you show up to
feel
a
like
show,
Energy.
don't fucking no more
I have-
Sleepy Mew.
My bad.
Sleepy
hasn't
Mew,
got-
that character is done.
Hey, Cam hasn't got enough words in. Everybody,
no,
that's my fault.
I'm
That's
liking
my
it.
fault.
Chuck.
That's my fault.
I like it.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that for the team.
Okay, so what I was saying was, thank you. This is much better. Now, all right, back to me. No, I like you off the cold brew. We're bullshitting right now because we can't get people in to pitch us, so bear with us. I know.
Almost there.
Cam, you got some pitches in you. Pitch some.
Yeah, pitch something. Pitch
You
it.
have some
I think-
ideas just rattling around.
We haven't
That's my
gotten
fastball.
a parody like mob show in a minute. I'm thinking about that. That feels like a genre that we don't.
We
Really...
used to get them so
Really?
much. There was a period of time where, do you remember, Walter, where it was
Yeah.
fucking
Where people would
mob
come to the
mania?
mob
Where,
We had some
It was
real
just like-
writers
What-
who were writing like features.
What
that,
movies or what shows were on? Like, was it inspired by the times or was it?
I
Just
mean,
like
it's
a
all
weird
cable
push?
stuff. There's no. A network should do a mob show. Like if a network did like the toned down
Sopranos.
Sopranos on
They
NBC.
tried
doing it on
TBS.
TBS.
I remember.
really?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone tried a mob show,
Was
but
Claus not a mob? Was Claus mobby?
Mhm.
Hmm.
What's it called? We
Fine.
gotta shout out Hamilton's dropping tomorrow, and I can't remember if we ever aired the pilot we have with
Yes,
the
we
freestyle
did
of
air it.
Supreme.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to put that up again. We need to coast off of this buzz. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to my guy UTK. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Tommy. Oh look, all right.
Shout out to people pitching.
What's up, Randy? Frisch.
Hi. French.
What's it called? We gotta shout out
Oh, can
Oh,
you
no.
turn? Can you take it down your Adult Swim
pilot we have.
website? We're hearing a lot of feedback.
Okay, we
Oh,
need
the
to
other
put
one?
that up again. We need to coast
Oh,
off
this one. Whoops. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God. Awesome. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. So I have a pitch for you guys today. Obviously, just did not expect to get in. That was crazy. So today I'd like to pitch for you guys something I think is really unique that you guys haven't seen before. It's called Randy and Cat. And essentially, it's kind of like Boondocks meets Invader Zim. And so what happens is this dark-skinned alien, who's actually from this interdimensional universe, lands in our third dimensional universe. And she has to navigate white American society. All the while her pet is with her and it's her spiritual companion. And he morphs in the process and turns kind of into what looks like a white man. He's got little ears and everything. But let me go ahead and share my screen.
Is this your boy?
Yeah. So here we have, so Randy and Cat. Let me know if you guys can see any of this.
Eric, can they share? screen?
They could try sharing. I mean, they could work.
Or do you want me just to, let me just drop the
If you
link.
drop the link in the
That
Adult
would
Swim
be better.
chat, yep,
We'll do
that's
that. Here we go.
definitely better. Although I have to stand by.
Awesome.
Don't drop it just yet, or get ready to drop it a second time.
Oh,
Hang on. I gotta get my
Branding's a
browser
super
back
cool
up.
name.
And
I like that name.
really, thank you. And are you ready for it now?
All right, go ahead and drop it now. Thanks.
Okie doke. Okay, and then I also have a short little kind of a bridge 6-minute episode, if you guys would be interested in that as well.
Yeah, we should.
Let's
watch
watch
the
that.
video.
Watch
Yeah, let's
it.
watch the
No,
video.
it's super weird. Let's get that going. It's kind of weird to explain.
Okay.
So we're also not digital artists, so this is all super, super, super raw. So please bear with the quality and everything.
Video link in the deck,
Ooh,
or
that's a long
I just
link.
dropped it just now.
Let's see
Okay.
if it works. It's a long link. All right.
Oh, okay.
Talk us through it.
I know.
Yeah. Just
Eric's like
Like
intimidated. Hey,
Get
like
ready.
we're landing a fucking plane or something.
Listen,
Hey, wait, it's a long. Hey.
If you walk around in these Kirkland signature shoes for one day, you know that link is long.
Yep,
Let me
it
tell
didn't
you.
work.
I
All right.
apologize.
All right.
Yeah, so basically what
Well,
happened.
hey, Eric,
Keep
there's
talking.
there's the studio
Yeah, you
in front
sent
of
the
that. I
studio
don't know
link.
if that's
Yeah, that's probably the problem. All right.
What's going on?
That's studio. You sent
The
your
link
studio link, like your
Rather than the public
admin
Oh, I'm
login.
so sorry. Let me actually send you
Just
the.
hit share video and copy that link.
Gotcha. My
Yep.
bad. 1 second here, guys. Share and let me copy paste this. And I'm dropping it right now. Okay. Did you guys get that?
Looks like it.
Okie doke. All right, let me know when
Thrilling
it starts.
television, you know.
It's really raw, so
don't ever
please-
call this television.
It's really raw. We're not like this is my first digital project, like literally ever. So please bear with the quality and all of that.
It's all good.
Well, it's
It's
awesome.
all right. I fucked up enough today. It's fine.
Princess, you have an incoming transmission from the palace. You got this. Accept incoming transmission. Transmission accepted. I've made it out of the galaxy with minimal damage incurred to the ship.
How much damage? How could you have made such a mistake on such a simple mission? Careless mistakes are a troublesome indicator of your ability to rule in the future.
Mother, my queen, please forgive
A
the
princess
transgress-
such as yourself cannot afford to err in judgment. Demonstrations like these on your
Would you not get
Hey,
on
I
my
just crashed
princess?
again.
You will treat your spiritual companion with respect and as though he is a member of the royal family.
I refuse to respect an untamed beast.
Shameful.
The only thing that's shameful is how arrogant, disrespectful, and disobedient this creature is.
You are the only member of the royal family who has failed to forge a bond with your spiritual companion. The both of you weaken the empire.
I hardly think it's fair that I'm being put on trial. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do up until this point to help him, and this whole trip he's been nothing short of mean and annoying and disobedient and disrespectful.
Eric, is this still playing on?
No, we.
I never
we
met
crashed
any
again.
disrespect.
Okay.
I'm gonna cut over.
Is it still playing for you guys?
Yeah, no, we could still watch it.
We're getting the
Yeah.
audio, but it's not. Okay, wait, it's playing now.
Stop it! Cut it out!
The audio will not be seen.
Had enough yet, space boy? Please. Minimal damage incurred to the ship.
How much damage? How could you have made such a mistake on such a simple mission? Careless mistakes are a troublesome indicator of your ability to rule in the future.
Mother, my queen, please
A
forgive the
princess
transgress-
such as yourself cannot afford to err in judgment. Demonstrations like these on your
Would you not get
condition
off?
undermine.
Princess!
You will treat your spiritual companion with respect and as though he is a member of the royal family.
I refuse to respect an untamed
I mean, we
beast.
might as well talk about it.
Yeah.
The only thing
Eric,
that's shameful is how
All
right,
arrogant,
I'll
disrespectful,
try.
and disobedient this creature
Here.
is.
You are the only member of the royal.
There
We,
we go.
we only have like a couple minutes, so
Absolutely.
give us
Okay, so can you guys would you mind actually going to the story Bible? I think the story Bible is a little bit more comprehensive. I actually have the layout of the entire season and the character arcs within the story Bible. So when you guys get there, could you just give me a quick let me know?
Oh, I won't be able to do that, unfortunately, right now. This
Gotcha.
is a
Alrighty.
disaster.
No
Shout out Eric.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, if you can walk us through, I think like a typical episode of
Absolutely.
yours, we get a sense of,
So basically what happens is, well, Randy is a dark-skinned alien. She's from kind of this higher dimension. So she's able to, think and create things and do kind of interesting things with technology that probably normal humans are absolutely unable to. And that's part of the reason why she's stranded on Earth. In the second episode, they actually try to get to NASA. Randy's trying to build these gadgets to get there, but they get there and they actually find out NASA's way less advanced. So Randy actually navigates American society. So she gets a job, gets money, and she's kind of figuring out ways to acquire rare elements to figure out her way back home. So in the meantime, she's just kind of walking around Earth society. She gets a job, and it's really interesting because her sidekick, who's her little spiritual companion who has morphed and turns into this white person, also tries to kind of do the same and blend in with Earth culture. And we really see the juxtapositions of their journeys with people as it's easier for him to be accepted, of course, despite having, two sets of ears and a tail, though she, of course, is kind of seen as out of this world and maybe not so coherent or down to earth, and for that reason is also rejected along with the racial implications. So I wanted it to be a kids show that also discusses the nuances of race.
What I'm curious. Do you have a writing background or an anime or like? I'm just curious.
No, I just really love to draw, and I've actually usually do big classical pieces. I'm actually a surreal artist, and I this kind of just came to me. But I don't have a writing background. I've just always loved to write and draw, and this is where this kind of came from.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting. It sounds like there's a lot there. I don't know if there's something more for us to read.
If I could take you through, if I could just name some of my favorite episodes from the story Bible really quick.
Yeah, sure.
So of course in episode 1, we see Randy crash land and all of this stuff. But as they progress, Randy crash lands on this playground. So she's inevitably tied to Brennan because part of the episode is, bringing his friends back to life and trying to figure out how we're going to get Brennan home and how we're going to get Randy home. But one of my favorite episodes is as they get more acquainted to Earth. So one of the things we kind of talked about, you guys mentioned Seinfeld, and I think we talk about little nuanced things without kind of dwelling on them. So in episode 9, this is the synopsis. Randy notices a ridiculous Headbands for Cancer campaign, so she decides to launch a Save the World campaign of her own. In the meantime, Kat starts a Handkerchiefs for AIDS campaign out of boredom. So really, we talk about little kind of things, you know what I mean? I think that are more advanced topics, but we see Randy navigating Earth. Maybe the humans will like me more if I start a campaign and I do something and I save the world. And Kat, on the other hand, doesn't really have that pressure, and he goes, "Oh, I'll just do something else." And one of the episodes, Kat actually becomes a contract killer for pets who hate their owners. So we kind of see Kat doing whatever he wants, and Randy really struggling to earn the approval of the humans.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, what did he say in the back?
Yeah, we want to hear.
The script.
Okay.
Would you like us to drop the link to that as well?
Drop the link to that. I think you're actually more impressive maybe than the idea. It feels like you've got things really well thought out.
Thank you.
We'll look at the idea. I'm curious what my man in the back, if he had one thing to say about the show, what it would be. Can you hear us? Can you say something?
I think it's mostly just her, really. She's incredibly impressive with her writing and art. She really just carries it all. I just in the back, really.
That's my guy.
My man.
Back there. Just
my man got your back.
Just leveling up the whole thing.
Hey, you got married that man. You got your back.
Randy, this is very impressive.
Mind if I ask if I'm on the board?
Woo!
I haven't looked at the board.
You have to look at the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Look at the board.
I think you might be on the board, but I honestly.
She's definitely on the board based on today.
Okay, you're on the board. You're on the board.
I wouldn't say that.
Thank you for
Randy,
calling in.
Thank
We
you.
gotta wrap it up. But
I'll redrop all of the links for you guys.
please.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've been working on this for a year, so thank you guys so much.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. All right.
It's about you. You make the show. Like everybody who calls in, we thank you and love you so
We're
much.
looking for
Thank you so
brains.
much.
We're looking
I'll
for
say
brains.
she had the receipts. She said she threw back to what my dumbass said earlier in the episode about Seinfeld. She said, "Oh,
you
really?
bring up Seinfeld
You
every
want that?"
damn episode. Seinfeld went off, and why do you bring up Seinfeld every episode?
It's just easy. I don't know. Fine, I'll use Two Broke Girls. All right, and Two Broke Girls.
You couldn't name one character from Two Broke Girls.
Eric Andre, fuck with me now. But the only criticism I have with Randy, yeah, Kat Dennings.
Wasn't it someone Bayhawk? No.
Shout out to Kat.
I went to a taping of Two Broke Girls, ironically enough.
Yo, what? Ironically.
Because I went with my man Tommy, who's the director of Hamilton, because he was shadowing Michael Patrick. Look, we can get into stories on
Two
here.
Broke Girls.
Don't let me start
Right next to the stage where Mom shot.
Dog, I got stories. Dog, I've been in Hollywood, dog.
This guy
Take
gets
it away,
one
Cam.
haircut and
Take it
just
away, Cam. Yo, I cut it off. Come on, man. They're not.
check the edges. The lines don't lie.
Don't let me start talking about Two Broke Girls behind the scenes. Let's go. Let's look at the board.
All right. So
I'll say I like Randy's pitch. She was very, very thought out. I think the only criticism I have is it just felt young, and I think she's trying to make a kid show.
Yeah.
Yep.
all right. So this is in no order here.
Oh wow, emergency board.
It was Photoshop that was crashing everything today. So
I
I'm
think the
I'm not even
common-
gonna open it this time.
I like how you labeled it.
Yeah.
A common theme that
Did I
I
spell
feel like
millennial
all these
wrong?
pitches kind of suffered from is that they had these like typical situations that they weren't deviating from, and I think that was my biggest thing. Even with Randy and Kat, I mean, for her idea, I was like, okay, so what are these like very unique situations that she's getting herself into? And I think that's what I was kind of struggling with for most of this board.
So how would you organize this board?
I think everyone gets deducted for that, and then
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
and then
The drug shit. I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise, by the way.
well, the drug thing, I think he was getting more into like an anime thing, which just like I don't know. The characters weren't really poppy, and I'm trying to think of like what characters I like.
But they were high as fuck. Admittedly, they
It's
were.
crazy how we don't hear about drug dealers nearly as much as we just hear about drugs. Like I mean, that's not even fresh, but it's just weird how everyone is.
What's the weed show on HBO? I hear it's actually good.
Weeds?
No.
No, it's
High Maintenance.
High Maintenance.
Isn't that about the dealer? I don't know.
Yeah, he's like a bike delivery
Yep.
dude.
Fair.
All right, what are we doing on this board,
Yep,
Jord?
we got
Dude, I don't know, man. This board is kind of rough for me.
Yeah, it's a
So we
tough
just
day
heard
for all of us.
they don't stand out. It's almost even hard.
I think the hood thing I think was like the least we got
Yeah,
the
it
least
wasn't
amount of
thin.
information. From
Wasn't
that.
a lot there, so maybe we
It
put.
was pretty thin, so I think I'm
maybe
gonna
put
take that one
there.
off.
Yeah.
I think
even though her
Randy
energy was good.
Is that how you spell millennial, or that's not how you spell millennial?
It's saying
Seems
it's
like it's not. There seems to be. I think it's
Right, what did I
one
do
L
wrong?
and two N's.
I think there's
it's
two
one
N's.
L and
Yeah.
two N's.
I think it's 2 L's, 2
there it
N's.
is.
No, I don't think it's.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
classic.
Jordy, don't ever test me with spelling.
That's a classic
I
boomer
will
I was
mistake.
English major. Don't ever test my
No.
spelling again.
I'm
I
usually
feel like
you a
maybe
boomer?
there's alternative spellings. Maybe there's two ways to spell it. I'm looking it up.
Eric, are you a boomer?
Okay,
Is that
look
what
it up. That's how you
Yeah.
spell it.
Well,
Yeah,
We
I
don't
know,
have time. It's
spelled it.
spell checked already. All right, let's assign some money and then end this misery.
You want to just give them all even?
yeah, kind of.
This wasn't a great week. Last week
No
was
winners.
amazing.
Yeah.
No winners.
Last week
Everyone.
was amazing.
Especially
was
not
still-
me.
Come on. You guys-
Everyone whose project
You
we
don't think
said was
Randy and Kat at least that there's like a message she's trying
I
to
like
get,
the
get
setup.
through?
I like him sitting there and her speaking.
Yeah, I like that really submissive thing.
That was a vibe. That
Let's
was a
give him
vibe.
Let's give Randy
I
and
think-
Kat 200, and then let's split the 300 between the other two.
I like
How about that?
All right.
How about that? Huh?
How about now?
How about that? Yep.
How
There you
about
go.
that?
That feels fair enough. But
Isn't
I
that
just want
a fake song?
everyone
How about
not
now?
to take like a victory lap from
No, that's
this
Bad
and
Baby.
realize that there's criticism
Bad
attached.
Daddy.
Jordy
to
still
this
wants to
money.
insult you. After
I know I'm not insulting. These are
after you
this is
won.
like true.
I don't want you to think you did anything.
No, I think that you guys should take our criticism into account when thinking about it. Don't think that
What
this money
if
is like your
What
pitch
if
is
they
worth
over
it.
Adult Swim? What if they want to take this to
I think
Yeah,
it's the same
I
thing.
think-
I don't think that our note. I think our notes make it
Paramount
better for
Network.
anywhere.
What if they want to take this to the Paramount Network?
What if they want to take this to stars, Jordy? Sit
Okay,
down.
fine, whatever.
What if one of these could be a Vimeo staff pit?
What if when I
Alright,
update
do the
my
music.
computer
Grab the
after
money.
this, it stops the crashing?
All right.
hope.
Well,
Let's
we're
work on
back
that.
next Thursday. Call in. Have your stuff ready. Hopefully, you take our notes into consideration. These are things that we keep the same energy, so you're gonna hear the same notes week in, week in, out. So, drug shit, be a little more slick, or just don't come with it at all. That's my note. That's my takeaway. How are you guys gonna sum up this one?
I mean, or pull up with the drugs?
Yeah. Pull up on me.
The
Okay.
and
Hey, Eric, great
Yeah.
job today.
oh yeah.
No, he
it
really
could have been
worked
worse.
through it. There was like 2 crashes.
He did work through it. He did work through
kept
it.
us on. I
Yeah.
I tip my hat to you, Eric.
That's me getting shot.
I'm a man without it. Rose line nigga.